Hello everyone, it's Jade. Today I'm going to be filming my manga collection video. I just finished recording my anime collection and I took everything down and put all of my manga up and it all fit. Just kidding, I actually have a ton more manga on the floor. I will get to that after I finish recording whatever is on the shelf, so let's just get right into it. So there is a sort of method to the madness here. I did just throw everything on the shelf. However, I wanted to put the series that don't have a lot of volumes on the shelves because if I were to put the ones that I own like multiple volumes of, then they would take up the whole entire bookcase. That wouldn't be as easy as just showing what I mostly own here. And then the series that I own multiple volumes of, I could just show them in like stacks or piles. So let's just get right into it. The first shelf, I have Parasites, volumes 1 through 3. I think there are, I want to say 7 or 9 volumes. It's not a very long series. I have volume 1 from the box set that I bought, the anime box set. It came with the volume, so I didn't have to get a volume 1 myself. That's why it looks a little different, hence the Sentai logo there and the Kodansha Comics logo at the top. So I only own 3 volumes. I will get the rest of it eventually, and I haven't started the manga yet because I don't want to start it unless I own all of it yet. So yeah. Here we have The Girl from the Other Side, volumes 1 and 2. This is a really good series. I highly recommend it. It's very mysterious, I would say, very dark. I really like the art style in it. Next we have volumes 1 through 7 of Boku no Hero Academia, but I only own volumes 1 through 7. I don't own all of it yet. It is a good shonen series. It's not my favorite. However, it is my little brother's favorite. He's like a huge fan of this manga, so instead of buying whatever else I needed for the series, I bought all of these copies again and gave it to him, so I will catch up eventually. But I am caught up online, and don't kill me for reading scans, but that's just what I do when I don't have money to buy volumes. Here we have volumes 1 and 2 of Yone of the Dawn. Now we have a couple of one-shot manga. The first one I own is The God's Lie by Kaori Ozaki. Everyone knows this one. Everyone recommends it as a manga one could read for their first manga. And here we have Tropic of the Sea, another one-shot. It's a good story. It's not amazing in any way, but I really love the art of Satoshi Cohn, so I really loved this manga myself. Here we have Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun, volumes 1 through 6. A really good sort of 4-coma rom-com, if you could call it that. There really is no development between any of the couples, except right now online on the scans, there's sort of development, so I'm kind of happy that we're getting to that point where they're recognizing each other's feelings. Next up, we have volumes 1 through 11 of The Flowers of Evil complete. I love this series. I even love the spines. I know a lot of people hate on the spines because they change and they're inconsistent, and I didn't like it at first because I'm more of like I like consistent ones. These ones are intentionally disarrayed according to like arcs. So we have the faces on this one, more of the faces, but they're more darker. These ones, which are my favorites, the sort of watercolor effect, I really, really like. It's a good series. It's very dark if you're into that sort of manga. Next up, we have The Garden of Words. It is that one movie by Makoto Shinkai. I haven't read it yet, but it's a very short manga, so if I ever feel like it, I can read it in like a sitting. Next up, we have volume 1 of Your Name, another piece of work by Makoto Shinkai. I haven't started it yet, but I have seen the movie and it was good. Next, we have Happy Cafe, volume 8. I only own 1 volume of it. This is the only one I could find at the time. I love this series. It's so funny. It's really long and it's a really good shoujo. I recommend it a lot if you can find the volumes or if you want to read the scans online. However, the ending was very rushed, so to keep that in mind. It's not the best ending, but the ride along the way is really good. Next up, we have Portrait of M&N volume 1. Here we have volume 1 of Honey So Sweet, a really cute shoujo, very innocent, very pure and sweet. I only have volume 1 right now, but I will get the rest someday. Next we have Your Name, the novel, light novel. A really quick read. I haven't read the whole thing yet, but if you really love the movie, then you can try and dive into the novel. I have Lie to Me, volume 1 of the novella collection. I think there are 3 in total. It's a manhwa and they have one-shots in here, each of a romance. None of them really stood out to me, so I don't know if I'll be getting the rest. Next we have X Diary, a really cute Korean comic-y sort of book about this couple, the ones that are on the spine, that broke up, and they're trying to deal with their lives after their breakup, so they're trying to remain friends, and it's really cute and very bittersweet. Lastly, on the shelf, we have A Girl on the Shore, a one-shot manga by Inio Asano. Not everyone's cup of tea, it's very sexual and graphic. However, I think it's a very mature read, and I feel like the way that it was handled was beautifully. I thought it was a great story. Again, very bittersweet, not everyone's kind of book, but I recommend it anyway if you're into that, or if you're okay with sort of mature graphic content. We're on to the second shelf now. The first thing I have here is Nijigahara Holograph, another work by Inio Asano, a one-shot. It is a mystery, and it is very, very good. I highly recommend it. Again, it's sort of confusing, but if you really pay attention and follow along, it's not that bad. It has a really nice release with a very nice hardcover. However, it's huge, a lot taller than the rest, so keep that in mind if you want it for your collection. Next, we have A Bride's Story. I have volume 1 here, another hardcover. I really like the way they released this with the slipcover as well. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of that, but I like how it's rounded and it looks really nice on the shelf. I really love this series. The art is fantastic. The story is very beautiful, but I only own one volume right now because they're damn expensive, and I have read most of it online anyway. Here we have volume 1 of Erased. Loved the anime. I have not read the manga. I think it's supposed to be a little different than the anime, so I'm excited to see what that difference is. Next we have Is All You Need Is Kill, another one-shot. Here we have Ayako, the only work by Osamu Tezuka that I own. I am currently barely into it right there where that black line is. I really like the release. It's really chunky, but it's not cheap material in my opinion. And it does look dark, obviously look at the back, but I'm excited to get more into it as well. Here we have Solanin, another one-shot by Inio Asano. This seems to be everyone's favorite work of him. I love it. It's a really good one-shot. Made me cry, made me happy and sad. It's very realistic in that sense. It's one of his more, I would say, tolerable works. It's not as vicious and graphic as his other manga, so recommend that if you want to get into him without dealing with all of the nastiness right away. Next is Planet or Planetes by Makoto Yukimura. I love this work very much. I have volume 1 and 2, which is complete. It's a space manga about people who pick up trash in space, and it's a lot more interesting than it sounds. I love it. It's the first work that I got into from this mangaka, and it will always hold a special place in my heart. Here we have another Inio Asano work. As you can see, I love Inio Asano, one of my favorite mangaka, and it's What a Wonderful World, volumes 1 and 2, which are backwards, excuse me. It's complete. It is a collection of one-shots that kind of all tie together in the end anyway. I highly recommend again. It's not as bad as his other works, not as graphic. From what I remember, I could be wrong. After Solanin or before Solanin, whatever, you can go ahead and try What a Wonderful World, and I'm sure one of y'all would like it. Next, we have a complete The Secret Sakura Shares. I think I've shared this in a haul video before. I do not like it. I was hoping for a more sweet romance that makes sense, but it doesn't really make sense. I didn't really feel good vibes from it. I didn't feel that happy when I read it. The ending was a cliffhanger. Yeah, it's just not good. I don't recommend it at all. Next, we have Satoshi Kon's Opus. Next up, we have The Prince in His Dark Days, volumes 1 through 4, complete. I really love this gender bend. I think I also showed this in a haul. It's beautiful. I think the way they did the gender bend was really well. It deals with sexual identity really well, and I just really liked it. Up here we have Love at 14, volumes 1 through 6. I'm a huge fan of the spines for some reason, even though they don't match, except for the first two. I think they're cute. It shows kind of the seasons. And my favorite cover, one of my favorite covers, which I should do a manga cover favorite video thing, it's volume 6. I really love the red, I love the leaves, so pretty. Just a very pure, innocent, and sweet middle school romance manga. We have volumes 1 through 6 of Welcome to the Ballroom, one of my favorite ongoing mangas at the moment about ballroom dancing. I'm sure everyone's heard of it by now, or they watch the anime or whatever, but it's so good. The art is just so beautiful. I'm a big fan, and I recommend it if you haven't already dived into it. And in the corner, we have volumes 1 through 5 of Happiness, my second work by Shuzo Oshimi, and I haven't started reading it yet, but now that I have 5 volumes, I should start soon. And I think there's one cover, well, all the covers are really pretty, but I think this one's my favorite. Yeah, this one's my favorite. I just think it looks so cool. But yeah, that is all for my second shelf. Next up on the third shelf, we have Maid-sama or Kaicho wa Maid-sama volumes 1 and 2 of the omnibus forms, but actually volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've read the entire series online. I really liked it. It's a very cute shoujo, and I will be getting the rest of the volumes eventually, but for now, that will do. I have Utsubora, the story of a novelist. It is a one-shot, very dark if you're into that, and it looks like that on the front and back. It's kind of confusing. I would recommend reading it twice, unless you're really smart and pay attention the whole time, the first time. So next up we have 5 centimeters per second, story by Makoto Shinkai again. Loved the film, have not read the manga. I did read the last few pages, so I know what happens. I will read all of it eventually. Next we have a Clamp series, Wish, volumes 1, 2, and 4. I do not have 3, but there are only 4 volumes in the series. Next we have volume 1 of A Million Tears. I think there are only 2 volumes to complete the series. I read it all online like years ago. It's really good. I highly recommend it. And here we have Aquarium, which is a collection of one-shots. I think it's a manhwa, so it reads left to right. And it's really cute. I love old art like this, so that's the main reason why I bought it. If you're a fan of old shoujo art that's all pretty and sparkly, then I recommend checking this one out as well. Next we have In the Starlight, another Korean manhwa that reads left to right. I bought it again for the purpose of how pretty it looks. I love the holographic starlight that's at the top and on the spine. I don't know how many volumes there are, but I will get around to buying them and reading it eventually. Here we have Wolf's Rain, volumes 1 and 2, complete. The manga is far less than the anime. The anime is definitely superior. It's beautiful, the music's great, the story is amazing. You have to watch the whole anime plus the OVAs if you want to get a full experience of it. I recommend the anime, don't recommend the manga. It just doesn't get as far into it. So I'm pretty sure, like 100% sure that the anime was before the manga. So go watch the anime, but don't get the manga. Next up we have Shinobi Life, volumes 4 and 5. I don't know how long the series is, but I only have volumes 4 and 5 because I think the rest are out of print. Obviously, Tokyo Pop. Next we have Short Sunzen, volumes 1 and 2. I think there's like 3 volumes in the whole series. Next we have Mugen Spiral. It's by the same mangaka that did Yone of the Dawn. It was very disappointing. There's only 2 volumes to the whole series. They end on a huge cliffhanger and then the mangaka just never picked it up again, so read this if you want disappointment. Now we have volumes 1 through 3 of Deadman Wonderland. The series, I believe, has either 11 or 13 volumes. Have not picked them up yet, but I love this series a lot. I also like the anime, which is a very unpopular opinion. Great manga. There's just horror and gore in this manga and love, and it's just fun, and the art is really nice, so I recommend that. Next up we have Good Luck, a manhwa series, volumes 1 through 5 complete. Do not recommend. A lot of it doesn't make sense because of the translations. It's just boring, it's not good, so I don't recommend this. Over here we have Kiss Him Not Me, volumes 1 through 5. It's about this fat otaku BL loving girl who gets skinny and beautiful and all these guys start to want her. If you want to read something like that, then go ahead and check that out. Over here we have Seiho Boys High School or Men's Co, volumes 1 through 3. A really good series that not a lot of people talk about. I enjoyed the beginning of the series a lot more than like the middle and the end, so that's why I only own volumes 1 through 3 and haven't felt the need to buy the rest. And then lastly in the corner I have volumes 1 and 2 and then 10, 11, and 12 of My Love Story. The reason I have those numbers is because I was reading it online a long time ago and the scans stopped, I think around volume 9 or something. So I was like, oh no, I have to read the rest. So I picked up 10, 11, 12, and then picked up 1 and 2 to start filling in the gaps. This is a great story. I think everyone's heard of it, about this big guy. He falls in love with this cute girl. It's just a really good story. My favorite character is Suna, and I hope he finds love as well. We're coming towards the end of this bookshelf, but I still have tons more manga to go. But now on shelf 4, we have Vagabond volumes 1 through 4 on the Viz Big editions. The most beautiful art you'll probably find in any manga. I only own volumes 1 through 4 because they're expensive and I will get them eventually because I want to complete that picture, but recommend this if you want beautiful story, beautiful art, beautiful everything. It's a really good manga, so. Next up, we have one of my favorite series of all time, Goodnight Punpun or Oyasumi Punpun. I have volumes 1 through 5. I think volume 6 just came out, and then volume 7 I think is going to be the last volume, so kind of sad. I read all of this online a long time ago. It was like an experience. This is what made me fall in love with Asano's work. It has drama and mystery and love and everything you could ever want in a manga, and the artwork is fantastic. So I highly recommend this, but be warned, it's a mature read, so don't expect it to be all sweet and fluffy like the penguin looks like on the little spines. So over here we have Noragami Volumes 1 through 5. I want to pick up the rest of Noragami because I love the series. I only have this for now. I love the spines. I used to hate the spines. Every time someone would say, I love these spines in their like manga collection, I'd be like, why? They're ugly. But now I'm kind of liking them, so I'm sorry for judging you all. Yeah, the artwork in Noragami is beautiful, the story is beautiful, it's about Shinigami and spirits and all that stuff, so if you like that, go ahead and check it out. Next up, we have Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2. I'm just reading the spines here. I don't know how people like to pronounce it, but I usually say 358 over 2 or 358 and a half. Kingdom Hearts is one of my favorite video games of all time, so I love the franchise and I had to get the manga. I have volumes 1 through 5 and that is complete. Next up, we have Orange, volumes 1 and 2, the complete collection. A very fantastic shoujo that's not really underrated. It's very, very good. The hype is real for a reason. Lovely romance, very sad. I cried multiple times in it, so read that if you want to feel something. Next, we have Karakuri Odette, volumes 1 through 6, a really, really cute shoujo about this girl robot right there. I really liked this series. I thought it was cute and funny, and I was enjoying it until I got to the ending. The ending seemed very rushed and just not cool because, for reasons, I don't want to spoil anything. If you want an ending that's very mediocre but has a fun, like, beginning and middle, then I suggest checking that out. Okay, so I took everything down and I put everything that was on the floor on the shelf. And when I'm done filming this video, I'm gonna have to put everything back on the shelf. This will be the final clip of this collection video. Let's start from the bottom with my box sets. So here I have box sets 1 and 2 for the manga Sailor Moon. The manga is 12 volumes long, so this is 1 through 12 complete, even though they're going in the opposite direction than people usually put them. That's how they came on the box, so I just left them like that. So yeah, Sailor Moon, no one needs any introduction for that. Great series, love it. The next box set I own is the Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind box set by Hayao Miyazaki, which is in this huge ass box. It comes with 2 volumes complete in these really big hardcovers. I tried to read this in one day and that was not a good idea. I guess I didn't absorb it the way I wanted to. It was a really good movie, but the manga was really long, kind of hard to read. Not in the sense of like difficult, like I'm an idiot, but like hard because there are a lot of words on every single page. I guess it is sort of like an idiot, but it's just a lot to take in one sitting. So I would not recommend reading it in just one day. I would recommend slowly taking your time with it. But other than that, the artwork is amazing and it's Miyazaki, so it's not like it's ever gonna be bad. And the last box set that I own is the Death Note box set, volumes 1 through 12 complete, plus 13 how to read. My favorite volume cover, if I can get it out, is volume 12. I just love the artwork of Death Note, and I think everyone knows what Death Note is, so I don't have to get into it. And now I can show you all what is on the bookshelf and what's the rest of the manga that I own. So we're gonna start this off with a bang. My favorite series of all time, as I've previously stated in my other videos, I think, Hunter x Hunter or Hunter x Hunter. I have the manga volumes 1 through 33, which is the most recent one that came out. And yes, this is my favorite series of all time. I have not actually read the whole manga through yet. I've watched the anime countless times, but I haven't really been in the mood to read it. Right now, I'm on volume 6, so I'm excited to see this work of art in manga form. My favorite cover is this one with the Royal Guard. Just a beautiful series. I know a lot of people give Togashi shit for his artwork, how it fluctuates. Honestly, I haven't been that far in to like really see it. I've seen pictures and things and screen caps of what his artwork looks like later on. But honestly, I don't really read manga for the art. I feel like art should be more of like a bonus and a benefit when it comes to manga. If the story is amazing, then I don't expect the art to be top notch either. I think it's just like bonus points for a manga if the art is beautiful. So highly recommend this series. It's a really long one. The anime is amazing, but if you love the anime, then hopefully you'll also love the manga, because I know I'm loving it. And here in the corner of the first shelf, I have Gangsta Volumes 1 through 7. Here it's coming off hiatus soon, which I'm excited for because I love Gangsta. I watched the anime first, and even though it was a cliffhanger ending, I really liked the anime. Great series, violence, I think some romance. I mean, it's like hinted. Next on shelf number 2, we have volumes 1 through 12 of Fruits Basket complete. I just really got into this series recently. A lot of people recommended this to me, and obviously I was gonna read it someday because it's what every shoujo reader should read. I'm just quoting somebody else. It was really good. I loved Fruits Basket. You can really tell how the art style changes throughout the whole manga, which isn't really a bad thing. I think it's cool because it shows the development of the mangaka themselves. I love the series. A lot of couples in here. My favorite character was I forgot her name, the psychic best friend. I don't know how I feel about the ending. It felt kind of rushed to me, but if the story was good in the beginning and the middle, then I don't really mind that much, I guess. I recommend this to everyone, and the releases are beautiful. I really like how it looks on the shelf. And next we have Vinland Saga Volumes 1 through 8. This is one of my favorite mangas of all time, as it is for a lot of other people. It's a great story by Makoto Yukimura, the same mangaka that did Planets. I know it's been talked about a lot, so I won't go into what it's about. It's a beautiful story, and it's made me cry like a whole shit ton of times, so I recommend it. Here we are on the third shelf. The first series on the left is Neon Genesis Evangelion, manga omnibuses 1 through 5, but they are the volumes 1 through 14. I don't need to talk much about Evangelion, everyone knows what that is. Another one of my favorite series of all time. I got into the anime first, so I haven't really delved into the manga that much. I would love to get more Eva, so I was glad that I picked this up and I will read it someday. Also, I think these are one of my favorite editions of all time. I'm not a huge fan of hardcover books, but the way they did paperback for this one is really nice. It's very thick material and it doesn't feel cheap at all, so I'm glad that I own that. Next up, we have another favorite series of mine, which is Nana, volumes 1 through 15. Nana is a masterpiece in my opinion. I don't own all of the volumes, I only own 1 through 15, and I think there's 21 or something. Don't know if it'll ever come back. It's been on hiatus for a long time, and it's considered complete on my anime list, I think. I don't consider it complete unless the mangaka considers it complete, so hopefully we'll get more of Nana in the future because it's one of the best manga I've ever read, and I think everyone should read it, not just women. I guess it's a shoujo, but I would consider it a josei since it's kind of mature. I have cried many times reading this. It's definitely one of the best manga out there. And the last on the third shelf is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I have volumes 1 through 3 of Phantom Blood, 1 through 4 of Battle Tendency, and 1 through 4 of Stardust Crusaders. This is one of my favorite mangas of all time, as I've previously stated before. I love most of my manga, so a lot of them are my favorites, which don't really make them favorites anymore, but I don't care. Yeah, not much to say except I love every part of JoJo. I don't know why people like to say, you can skip part 1. That makes no sense. Don't skip any of a series, just read it. Even if it's unbearable, you can just skim it. Part 1 was really good. I liked how it introduced to the series. It introduced Dio, which is one of my favorite villains ever. Part 2 has one of my favorite manga characters / anime characters of all time, Caesar Zeppeli right there. He is one of my favorites, and I love this cover, by the way, with the redrawn Caesar. I think it looks really cool. If you want to check out more of my favorite manga and anime or characters, I'll link my anime list in the description box. I love part 2. I know that it's a favorite of a lot of people. Here we have part 3 and they're still being released. I don't know how many more volumes there will be of part 3, but I freaking love the blue on black. I think this is the most aesthetically pleasing that I've seen in a while, and I just thought that that was a spider, and I just got so scared just now. I can't wait till we get more of these, and I can't wait till part 4 is released, and part 5 and 6 and 7. My favorite is part 6, though I do enjoy part 7 a lot. Love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, as everyone should. Here on the 4th shelf, we have the famous series Berserk, volumes 1 through 38, which is the most recent one that came out. Everyone knows Berserk. It's one of the best manga of all time. It has everything you could ever want in a manga. It's got horror and gore and sex and evil and adventure and violence. I'm actually not caught up with the series entirely yet. I am on volume 35, as you can see here. You like my bookmark? It's a little minion. My mom gave it to me because it was from a pillow she bought, and I thought it'd be funny as a bookmark. Moving on down, this is my final bookshelf and the final volumes of manga that I own. And to start it off, we have Attack on Titan volumes 1 through 15. Everyone knows what this is. I'm actually not caught up with the series. I read a lot of it years ago. When they announced when season 2 was gonna start, I wanted to watch the whole season first and then start reading, so I started reading again. I'm only on volume 3. A lot of people like to shit on the series for how hyped up it is. I think it deserves the hype because it's really original for what it is, and it's a really good series. Next, we have Dawn of the Arcana, volumes 1 through 13. This is a very underrated series in my opinion. It's a historical romance shoujo. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorites as well. I think it's a pretty short read, and it's definitely worth reading. It's fantastic, and I don't think enough people talk about it, so I recommend that. And to finish off all of the manga in my manga collection, I have got One Punch Man volumes 1 through 11. Everyone knows this series. It's amazing, it's fun, it's beautiful to look at, and yeah, I'm also not caught up with this as well, so please don't spoil anything for me. But I think my favorite characters are, I think Sonic and Metal Bat. That is everything that I own in my manga collection. And now I have to take everything off the shelves and put all of my manga back on the shelves and my anime. And I know that you shouldn't stack manga and anime like I usually do, but I can't help it because I don't have enough room. I only have one bookshelf, and I know I could probably get more, but then I'd have to set it up and I'd have to put it in my room and it would take more space, and so this will have to do for now. But thank you guys so much for watching. I know this is a very long video, but I really appreciate it. I appreciate the subscribers. Thank you for liking, for subscribing, for commenting, for acknowledging my channel's existence. I will try and see you guys next time. Bye!